Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil mursaleen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Okay, amma ba'd. Okay, I would like to go through our Irab first today because what I plan to do is, yes, some lessons before, I think before you joined the Sister Fazana, we did what we call preliminary notes on Irab. Yeah, I think you have access to those notes. And I didn't cover everything. I just covered the essential parts. Yes. So as we go along with Surah Yasin, there'll be certain topics that we need to revise. Yeah. So then I will do a special, like I did with Lam Muzahalakah, and then as well as a revision on Jar wa Majrur. Yeah. As with their function of being muta'alliq. So today I just want to concentrate on Saf, yeah, because we have not done anything on Saf yet. Yeah. And next week, inshallah, we will do a special maful mutlaq. You know why we're doing that? Because the next surah, the next verse, which is verse number 5, has a maful mutlaq in it. So I thought it would be a good time to actually do a special maful mutlaq. But that will be next week. Yeah. So today there'll be an introduction on Saf. Yeah. But before that, we shall finish off our Irab for verse 4. There's something I'd like to recap. Yes, Brother Hazim, you can see the screen, I hope, inshallah.
Yes.
Good, okay. So we did this last week. I just want to add something here. Yeah. Um, when Yasin is treated as fi mahali jar, yeah, in the place of jar, yeah, we can say like this by Yasin because we're doing an oath, and then another oath by the wise Quran. Then indeed you are truly from among the messengers. Was one option that I highlighted last week, but I did not highlight a second option, and that is if we treated the wow here is ata. Yeah, so this is in the place of jar, and this is majrur. Yes, so this is in keeping with half ataf. So when you have an half ataf, yes, you have the what we call the ma'tuf alayh, yes, and of course the ma'tuf, the one that follows the ma'tuf alayh. And they should always have the same status. So there's no issue here to treat this wow as ataf. Yeah. So then your translation would be slightly different, just by Yasin and the wise Quran. Yeah. So that's one thing I wanted to add. Then the other thing was when we did this part, yes, Laminal Mursalin, we did the big Irab, meaning the macro Irab. We didn't do the micro Irab. So I would like to do the micro Irab with you. Here we did the macro one. We said this was Jar Majrur and it was Muta'ali to a Habar that was Mahzuf. This was one option. The second option was to treat Minal Mursalin as a Shibhu Jumlah, and this Shibhu Jumlah is Habar Ina. Yeah, so we did both the options here. Now I want to do the micro so-called Irab. Yeah, we want to break this down. So this is min, which is harfu jarin. Notice this is light. Yeah, because this is an idafa. And you know the mudaf is light with no alif lam. And the mudaf ilai is majrur. Yeah, so we have harfu jarin. So now my treatment now is for al-mursalin. Yeah, so how do we write the Irab for al-mursalin? Yeah. So, the statement of Irab, okay, the statement of Irab, excuse me, is in itself a Jumla Ismiyah. Okay, hopefully this helps you. So we're saying that Al-Mursalin is something, something, something. Yeah. So how would I write this? I would say Al-Mursalin is, I would say, Ismun. Yeah, for example, Ismun. Majrurun. Majrurun here is sifah to Ismun. Yes. And I'm going to say and its sign. Yes, its sign. So this is also marfu because it's another jumlah ismiyah. This time we have a light dhamma instead of the heavy dhamma. Why? Because what follows it, it's mudaf ilay. Yeah, it's mudaf ilay. And we're going to say jar he. Its mudaf ilay itself is an idafa. Yes, it's jarness. If you want to say it in English. Yeah, it's jarness, for example. So the sign of its jarness is ya. Yeah, sorry. MashaAllah. Okay, al-ya. What is the sign above the hamza? The sign of its jarness is al-ya. So what should be the sign above the hamza? Any suggestions?
الياء and not
Yeah.
الياء. الياء
Ah,
is correct. فقط الياء.
good. Yes, because of the alif lam, it is light. Yeah. Al-ya'u. Then we have something called niya button. And this is mansub. Why is it mansub? Because this is the hal of ya. Yeah, the hal of ya. Remember, this is definite. So this is hal. And niya button means in the place of. We can also put here badalan. Yeah. But if we put badalan, then it won't be an. If niya button, it will be an. Remember, the prepositions will depend on what we're using it with. So if this was badalan, then it will be badalan min. Yeah, min as in this min. But in this case, it's niabatan an. So in place of or representing, representing the original sign of majrur. The original sign of majrur is al-kasra. Yes, so this is al-kasra. Because of the an, this is jar. Yes, anil kasrati. Then we follow it with a mabni word. This mabni word means because. Yes, so it is actually, we write it as this. لأنه لأنه because it is. Why is it? Yeah, this is it's of course, because it's majrur. Yes, but what type of word is this? Mursalin. Mursalin. Yeah, what type of word is this? This is actually what we call a sound masculine plural. Maybe I went through this last week, but we just go through it again. Doesn't hurt to go through it again so that we're very clear. Yeah. So jam'un. This is mawsus sifa. Yeah. Muzakarun. Sali means sound. Yeah. Sali means sound. Sorry. Oops, sorry. Okay. So that's how we do the micro Irab of Minal Mursalin. Now, we will do the Saf in a while. Once we have done ours, well, if not in a while, at least you know that this is actually an isim, yeah, al-mursalin, and it is in a majrur state, and it's actually a plural, a masculine plural, yeah. And we'll have to find out what the family is later on. Before that, let's finish our Irab here. Okay, so we have the last verse for today, or the first and last verse for today, the only verse for today, sorry, which is ala siratim mustaqim. So what have we done so far? Please remember, when I do tarkib, it is for the sake of translation. It's different from Irab. Irab is actually the grammatical analysis. This is where we write all this. Yeah, this whole thing is your Irab. Tarkib is just blocks blocks so that you can understand what is going on in the sentence so that you can translate. Yeah. So we know that an oath has taken place, and I'm saying that the answer to that oath is all of this. Irab speaking is not like that. Okay, it's slightly different. Slightly different because for Irab, it's not horizontal like this. Tarkib is horizontal, the analysis. Irab, it might not be horizontal. Yeah, your habar might have some things to it that goes down another level. Okay, but for Tarkib, we treat it this way. Qasam, jawabul qasam, and then in the jawabul qasam, we have a muqtada. Remember, innaka, the half nasi with its isim, and laminal mursalin, la muzalaka, or sometimes they say this la muzalaka actually represents the lam that indicates that a qasam is the jawab qasam is coming up. Yeah. So here we have mubtada haba. This part we understand, right? We said that this shibhu jumlah can either be the habar to this innaka, yes, or it can be muta'alik to the habar of this innaka. That's what we said before. So what is ala siratim mustaqim? Okay, what is this? Okay, this is what we call your first habar. Yeah, and therefore, by that fact, this is your second habar. Because we're still talking about innaka. Habar 1, habar 2. Remember, this is tarkib. Yeah, so innaka laminal mursalin ala siratim mustaqim. So you can confidently translate this. Indeed, you are truly from the messengers upon the straight path. Okay, so this is our tarkib. Then we can add other bits of information if you like. Yeah, when you break it down, I normally put this in another color so that we can see this. Yeah. So this is your half qasam with your maqsum bihi. Yeah, this would be, this is another level. This is another level. Yeah. Let me take that across for you. Yeah. Subhanallah. Oops, sorry. When I don't highlight both, it will not copy on the right place. Okay, so remember, this is Mausuf, this is Sifa. And then we have half nasab and tawkid because inna is both of that. Ka is its isim. Yeah, and then we said that this is the habar. And the habar consists of jar wa majrur. So we have a second set of jar wa majrur and another Mausuf and Sifa here. But what's happening here? What is ala siratim mustaqim? Okay. Now, the grammarians are always hardworking and they're always looking at how can we look at this. Yeah. So there are several options as well. Okay. There are several options for ala siratim mustaqim. I'm going to go through with you all the options. Yeah. And you just listen and hopefully you will understand what's going on. Okay, inshallah. So ala siratim, identical to minal mursalin. So this is what we call jarun majrurun. Yeah. So this is jarun majrurun. Remember, this is actually a jumla ismiyah. Yeah, stating something. I need a wahid. So far, any questions? Everyone understands? Inshallah. When I hear silence, I assume you do understand, yeah? All right.
This is Zuraidah.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
it like, why is it not Siratim Mustaqim as the Majrur?
Why is it?
Not
Siratim mustaqim.
It's like a nested majrur.
Okay. Well, you have to look at it in steps. First of all, when we say jar, right, what are we referring to? We're referring to Allah. Yeah, we're referring to Allah. So the isim that it makes majroor, or in Bayina, sometimes we call them the victim. Yeah. So the isim that we make majroor is siratim. So this is your jar wa majroor. When we do Irab, yeah, it's not like tarkib. Tarkib is for translation purposes. The sifa, we never say mausuf. You notice that? I use mausuf only for tarkib because it explains what's going on. Yeah. But in Irab, we never use mausuf. We don't have things like mausuf in Irab. We only say sifa, or maybe another word for this, another term for this is man'ud. Yeah, man'ud. And na'at. Same, that's the same thing. It's just that they like to call it this. Depends on which the grammarian comes from where. Yeah, so mausuf, sifa, man'ud, na'at. Same thing. Okay. So only this is your jawab majrur. When you look at mustaqim, you are actually looking at it from this point of view, sifa point of view. Yeah, we don't say that, as you say, sirati mustaqim. Is it jawab majrur? That's what you were saying. That was your
because maybe because I didn't learn till the end, but siratim him is mausuf sifah, because then I remember a little bit when learning access, there is like a method. When we see mausuf sifah, then it's like we address that first, then
only say it's muta'alliq to something, is it?
yes.
But muta'alliq, only two, jawa majrur, which is ja majrur, and zaf, not mausuf sifa. Yeah, not mausuf sifa. Mausuf sifa is not a muta'alliq. Yeah, it's not muta'alliq. So the two forms of muta'alliq is ja wa majrur and zaf. Yeah. Okay. I think you have that in the textbook. You can have a look at the textbook. And we also have some slides on that we did for the last lesson. So maybe you can have a look at that again. Yeah. So you still don't understand what I'm saying, then you can just ask me again. You can PM me, or you can ask me at the next class. Okay. Inshallah. Okay. But remember that, yeah, muta'alliq is only jawa majrur and your zaf. Okay. So believe it or not, there's actually three options on how to treat ala siratim mustaqim. Yeah, three options. The first option, yeah, I will not do the detailed Irab. I'll just do the Irab because I think just understanding it also takes quite a bit. Okay. So I said this is the first habar. This is the second habar. Yeah. So if this is the second habar, like the way we treated this, we said that ja wa majrur can be shibhu jumlah habar. Yeah, so that means ala siratim can be shibhu jumlah habar, or we can say that it is muta'alliq to a habar that is mahzuf. Yeah, it is muta'alliq to a habar that is mahzuf. So we can say that. So the way to write this is this one, be mahzuf. Yeah. No, once you already get the hang of this, you just look at it in the book and you know what they're talking about. But we need to go through the motions, because then you will understand what it means. Yeah, be mahzuf khabar. Yeah, but this is habar that is the second habar, not the first habar, because the first habar already has its own muta'alliq, yeah, which is min al-mursalin. So this is your second habar. The way to write the word second is sa-nin. Yeah, sanin. Because this is what we call nakis word. Yeah, in Sah we call it nakis. So this is habar sanin li'an. So li'inna, because li'inna has 2 harfas. So you write down in na. This is one option. That means the same thing that we did with minal mursalin. Okay, but see, there are things in front of ala siratim, and one of that is al mursalin. And remember, we said that if you have a shibhu jumlah or a jumlah after a definite noun, al mursalin here, right? So that means this can also be treated as hal. Yeah, a shibhu jumlah or a jumlah, a fragment or a sentence after an indefinite noun, and indefinite meaning there's no al, yeah, with tanwin, that is sifa. Yeah, that's what we call sifa. But when it is ala sirati mustaqim and is after a definite noun, then we can treat it as hal. So our second option here is, yeah.
Ustad, please repeat it once more. If it is indefinite and if it is definite and followed by sifa, so what?
So here, okay, I'll just write it down here for you.
Okay.
Inshallah. Okay, so jumlah. Oops, sorry. I'll write it in English. Okay. Jumlah or fragment. Shibu jumlah is part of a sentence or fragment. Shibu or something like a sentence. Shibu means like, right? Shibu jumlah or jumlah after an indefinite noun. Indefinite noun is your nakira, yeah, the one with tanwin ending, yeah, tanwin ending. This is what we usually call sifa. It will describe what was indefinite, sifa, okay? But when it is after a definite noun, we call it hal. Yeah, so this is after a definite noun, sorry. It's ma'rifah. Ma'rifah, you know whom you're talking about, yeah, which is al beginning, maybe, yeah, usually al beginning, or it doesn't have to have an al beginning. It could be a name like Zaidun. That is ma'rifah as well, yeah. So not necessarily an al beginning. Proper noun, something like that, yeah. Then this is hal because you're describing someone in particular and what they are doing, the condition they are in. Hal, yeah, condition they are in. So this is what we're saying. So here we see that this is definite. So that means ala sirati mustaqim. Yes, your shibu jumlah after it represents a hal. Represents a hal. The only thing is, remember, we were looking at that slide about the man from the hotel thing, right? Who is the sahibul hal? There are two sahibul hals here you can address, al-mursalin and ka. Yeah, so but let's not go to ka yet. Let's just look at al-mursalin because that's the easier one to understand. Yeah, so this means it is bimahzuf. Sorry. Bimahzuf hal. Okay. Now we have to say who is our sahibul hal. Easier one to look at is this one. The isim of inna, ka. This is the first one. Yeah. Isim of inna, which is ka. You. You here meaning Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah. So that is the first condition or description of him. Definite in. Okay. And we said then, what did we say just now? It could be the hal of al-mursalin. Yeah, it could be the hal of mursalin. So we can say that the shibhu jumlah. Jumlah is hal al-mursalin. All right. Is that okay? Have a look at that. You need to digest it for a while. Yeah. Okay. So we can treat jar wa majrur as the actual habar or something that is muta'alliq to the habar that is mahzuf. Same thing in this case for the second habar as well. Yeah. What do you think is the fourth option if you want to do a fourth option for this? A simpler one. Sister Nazma, are you okay?
Trying to absorb.
This part at least you get this part, right? This part, I hope this is clear.
Yes.
Okay, sure. You need to look at this. Sister Ralin, what about you? Do you remember this part? I think Ustad Numan covered this in one of your lessons. Yeah. Sister Ralin, are you there?
I think I need to do some revision on this because I'm quite not about the shibhu terms here.
Okay. Shibhu Jumla, we would have called it fragments, but I think they do. They've already used this for in the Shibhu Jumla. There is only two, yeah, which is Jawa Majrur and the Zah.
Oh, okay, understand.
Oh,
Shibhu.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Alright. Okay. All right, so these are the three things, and you can also say a simple one, more straightforward one. I forgot about this one. Yeah, ala siratin could just be muta'alliq to al mursalin. Yeah, you don't have to say it's hal. You can just say that as well. This is the maybe the most straightforward one actually. So this. Oh, sorry, mashallah. Let me copy paste this one. So we are saying here muta'alliq. Sorry, it would not be myself. Yeah, it would be this one. This would be the standard way of doing it. Yeah. I must congratulate you all because you're very patient. Alhamdulillah. But sorry, especially with my typing. Okay. Al-Mursaleen. Al-Mursaleen. But what is, this is Irab, okay? This is Irab. But what we are looking at, what is more important perhaps to you all, is the translation. Yeah, the translation. So you would look at this and how would you translate depending on how you look at it. Yeah, how would you translate depending on how you would look at it. So, okay, if we look at this one, the first one, it is Habasani for inna. Habasani for inna. So I think most of it will sound about the same. Okay, if let's say we use that first translation, let's do the classical translation for this. Brother Hazim, would you like to try on translating this? Innaka laminal mursalin.
Innaka la minal mursalin. Certainly you
Certainly you. Okay.
From Rasul.
Hold on. Let me bring it down. Maybe it's easier if I brought the whole sentence down. Keep on scrolling up and down. Okay. Yeah. Oh, but then I don't have Siratal Mustaqim here. Yasin. Innaka. Yeah. This one, right? It'd be nice if you all can have. I'll share in the Skype group the, what do you call it? All the websites that you can refer to. Yeah, when you do your stuff, so easier for you, inshallah. So you want to do the translation of this, which is here. Yeah. Innaka laminal mursalin ala siratal mustaqim. So certainly you. Oh, sorry, certainly you.
From.
La is not from. La is a way of emphasizing even stronger. La muzahlaka is for emphasis. Innaka la minal mursalin. So la here, we can, if you want to show the emphasis, this is the beauty about Arabic, you see. You don't really need to translate, but when you see inna and la, you know it's a very strong thing. So in order to translate, you would say something like, certainly you, truly, let's say, truly, yeah, minal mursalin. Now, how do we translate minal mursalin? Certainly you are, because this jumlah ismiyah, right? We have mubtada and habar. So there is an invisible is here. Certainly you are, yeah, truly,
Truly from.
mursalin.
I don't know this one.
Mursalin is messengers, because it's masculine plural, yeah. So there's al, so from.
The messengers.
Yes, excellent. And these messengers are ala siratim mustaqim. Allah, how do you pronounce? How do you translate Allah?
On.
On siratim mustaqim.
Straight path.
Yes, upon a straight. Okay. So this is something like that. Yeah. So we have a haba sani li'an, and I do not see. Okay, in terms of hal, yeah, remember we said that we are describing ka, you are upon a straight path, yeah, so that is the condition of Nabi, yeah, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He is on the straight path. So translation is still the same, even for this one as well, Shibu Jumlah Hal al-Mursalin. So the messengers are the ones who are upon the straight path, yeah, not you. Okay, that's the difference in meaning. If we take it as this, then it is actually the messengers who are on the straight path. You're truly from the messengers upon the straight path. Then some would say we can also add here from among, if we want, yeah, from among the messengers upon a straight path. Yeah, so certainly you are truly from among the messengers. Okay, if you want to refer it back to car, you will say something comma maybe. Certainly you are truly from among the messengers upon a straight path. But if let's say you want to go back to mursalin instead of car, yeah, then the intonation is slightly different. Certainly you are truly from among the messengers, perhaps who are on the straight path, yeah, who are upon the straight path. I put this in brackets because it's implied, yeah, who are upon the straight path, yeah. So the slightly difference in translation.
So, Sister Zurida, this second line, this is specifically for the Prophet, peace be upon him now. The earlier was for all the Mursaleen, and the second is exclusively for the Prophet, peace be upon him. The second line.
Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
You are
Actually, the first one, the first one is specific to him. Certainly, you are truly from among the passengers upon a straight path. I mean, you are upon the straight path. Okay. The second one is yeah, the other way around. Yeah, these are the messengers who are upon the straight path, but he is among them. Yeah, so it's the same thing. At the end of the day, the meaning is the same thing. So very subtle differences. Yeah, so that's
Yes,
why I
yes.
make it very beautiful. That's why I like.
In
I
a way,
like.
one is referring to Mursaleen and one is specifically referring to the Prophet, peace be upon him.
Yes, absolutely
Okay,
right.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Yeah, but slight differences. Okay. So now we go to Saf. Okay, so we've done the Irab for the verse 4. We can only do Irab for the verse 5 after we do the special on Maf'ul Mutlaq. Yes, because I believe you will need some revision on Maf'ul Mutlaq. Yeah, and Maf'ul Mutlaq is a special case of Maf'ul. I know that sometimes you also refer to Hal as Maf'ul. Yeah, but classically speaking, Hal is not a Maf'ul. Yeah, Hal is not Maf'ul, but I believe Ustad use the term Maf'ul Hal just to make it so that you can understand that it has something to do with detailing, describing what's happening to someone in particular or something in particular. Yes, so that's Hal. Okay, so Mursalin, and what was the other word that we were looking at? Mursalin and Mustaqim. Yeah, these two words are what we call sufferable. Okay, Mursalin, Mustaqim. So what is a sufferable word? A sufferable word is a word that you can derive from something else. Yes, it's a word that you can derive from something else. Another word. Yeah, another word. When I say something else, I mean another word. And there are two schools of thought. Yeah, the Basriyun and Kufiyun. I think I mentioned this before. The Basriyun say it's from the Mazda. The Kufiyun say it's from the Fi'il. Yeah, or the other way around. I'm not sure which, but one of those. Yes, okay. So someone says, one group of scholars says it's from the Mazda. Another group of scholars says no, it is from the verb. Yeah, so mursalin, mustaqim. Okay, so whenever we see a word like this, the soft way to go, yes, the soft way to go is to make it singular. This is plural, right? So what's the singular for mursalin?
Russell, Russell. So sorry, the root word. Sorry. Mursal, yes, Mursal.
Okay, so Brother Azim said something just now. More? How what?
Mursalun.
So I will
Mursal.
spell this as Mursalun. And mustaqimun? Sister Radin, what is mustaqimun?
Is it Mustaqimun?
Okay, mustaqimun is mustaqimun. Is this a plural?
No, I don't think so. Mustaqimun.
Okay, you don't think it's yes, you're right. Okay,
Fa'il.
yeah, mustaqimun. Key, right? Yeah, it's in file.
Taqa. This is for taqa from
Okay, yeah, the car part. This is from the East family,
East
yeah?
is family, yes, East.
So just now, Sister Ralin said this is singular. Okay, let's see what happens. Can we find the plural for this? Mustaqimun, if you want to make it plural, what do you think it is? Rafa status.
Mustaqimuna.
Yeah, mustaqimuna or mustaqimat. Yeah, depending on whether it's feminine or yes. So this is a very useful website here, Al-Mani. I'll share this with you, yeah? So you can do this with this, and you can find out all the different mustaqims that you can find in the world, yeah? In the Arabic language. Very good way of finding things. Okay, inshallah. I know it's in Arabic. You can actually translate the whole website into English, but sometimes it's just good to sit down and think about what it's saying, yeah? Because when you translate it, it's lost in translation, as the saying goes, yeah? So yeah, so mustaqimuna, so would be the plural. So now let's look at musalun, sorry. So this would be from what family do you think? Is there any extra letters?
Family 4 أرسل مرسل أرسل يرسل رسالا مرسل. Family 4.
Okay. Family 4, yes.
Okay.
Even though it doesn't look as if there's any extra letters, it's actually from family 4. And family 4 has Hamzah in front. Yeah, so this is family 4. Sorry, and Mustaqimun, we already said just now, this was from family 10. Yeah? And Mursalin and Mustaqim, both of them are because of this Kasrah here. Yeah, are both isim fa'il. Yeah, isim fa'il. Okay, so that means you know yourself, alhamdulillah. Okay, but never mind. Let's do a refresher on Saf, and we'll look at our slides today, inshallah. Yeah. So if you have any questions, you have to, once I go on slides, you have to say it to me because I can't see what's going on. Okay. Bismillah. Okay. I thought this was a really nice hadith. You know, not all hadiths come from the Nabi. Some are said by, in this case, Ibn Sirin. Ibn Sirin, his name is Abu Bakr. And he is actually a tabi'in. What do I mean by tabi'in? Tabi'in is someone who learns from the companions. Yes, he learns from the companions. And he had teachers like Abu Hurairah, yes, Ibn Abbas, even Sayyidina Umar al-Khattab himself taught Ibn Sirin. Yes? So that's the special thing about him. And in turn, he has students who are famous. Yeah, so that's his level of knowledge. Ibn Sirin, his level is really high, and he has students who are famous. Among them is Qatadah. Qatadah is one of our Mufassirin who was born in Basra. Yeah, he's based in Basra. And he said something interesting. He said that this knowledge is a religion. So consider from whom you receive your religion. The word deen can mean many things. Is commonly translated as religion, something that we hold, right? Something that we hold. Actually, deen can also mean rules or the way we live. And I like to think of it as the way we live in this context as Muslims. Yeah. So he's saying that be careful from where you get your knowledge about how you live. Yeah. Basically, your knowledge of Islam, how you live as a Muslim. Yeah. Because if you take it from the wrong person, you might be misled. Yeah. So he was quite strict about this. He's strict about this. When someone wants to share something with him, he looks at the person and person's background before he accepts whether the person is saying something good or something that might not be on our path. Yeah. So Ibn Sirin said this. This knowledge is a religion. So consider from whom you receive your religion. Alhamdulillah. So far, I think we've had very good teachers. Alhamdulillah. Okay. So what's Saf? Saf in English is morphology. Yes. Change, study of word patterns. And in order to tell the meaning of the word, I think you've seen some of these notes. You need to know what the root letters are, which we did just now, what kind of word it was, which we did just now, and the family from which it belongs. Yeah, so these are the essential things that we need to know. 3 pieces of information: root letters, kind of word, and the family it's from. Why the family from? Because the different families have different implications. So that's why we need to know from which family it comes from. Okay, root letters is also called jizr, al-jizr. Yeah, So when we say there are 3 root letters, we mean the ones who are based with 3 root letters. This is normally the norm, okay? But we also have 4. We also have 5, yeah? So it depends on whether it's an isim or a fi'il, yeah? So when we see ra, fa, ra, or nun, sad, ra, or ta, ain, mim, kaf, ba, ra, remember we are supposed to call them something like fa kalimah, ain kalimah, lam kalimah. Fa, ain, lam. Yeah. So although you see fa here, it is actually the ain kalimah in this word. Yeah. And it so happens in this case, this ain is the ain kalimah. Yeah. But it's not like when I say fa kalimah, ain kalimah, lam kalimah, doesn't mean that there's a fa there, there's an ain there, or there's a lam there. It's just that this is the position of fa. Fa is always the first one. This is the position of ain. Ain is always the second one, and lam is always the third one. Yeah. So what patterns may include other letters other than the root letters? Yeah. This one is showing an example in English. Teacher, painting, painted. Yeah. So this is present tense, past tense, and your file. Yeah. Ustad is very good at this. Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, then we see this table. I think you're all familiar with this table. Anyone not familiar with this table? Say your piece now. Otherwise, I think we are all familiar with this, yeah? So we have fi'il madin, fi'il mudari, the masdar. Fahuwa, isim, fa'il, yeah? Here are the majhuls. We repeat this for the, for the rhyming, yeah? Fahuwa, isim, maf'ul. So this line is majhul, passive. That's why we have maf'ul. This line is active. That's why we have fa'il. Then we have al-amru minhu, an-nahyu anhu, and zarf. Yeah, zarf. Okay, so this one we should understand what each and every one means. Yeah, so majhul, passive, when you do not know who the doer is. Yeah, that's why we call it majhul. Okay, now how do we call the Saf families? Because we've been doing family 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, but in classical Saf, we don't call them family 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, they are called either. Oh, sorry. Let me just go through the thing here. Yeah, so here is Sulasi Mujarrad. There are different subfamilies in Sulasi Mujarrad. Jarad means only that, nothing else. Yeah. Nothing. And then mazid fi, of course, you add something.
Sister
Yes?
Zurita, we couldn't hear what is mujarrad. Your voice
Mujarrad
is
means
yes.
mujarrad. Oh, I see. The voice broke, is it? Okay. Jarrad actually means nothing else. That means that is what you see is what you get. Because not nun sod ra, there's nothing additional. Yeah. So when you tajrid something, you strip it to the bare. Yeah, when you tajrid something, it means that you strip it to the, the base, nothing else. The essence of the thing. Yeah, mujarrad. So the one that has been is by itself. Yeah, mujarrad is the one that is by itself, made by itself. Okay. Mujarrad. That's ism maf'ul. Fa'ala. What I was saying just now, when it's mazid fi, and when you want to name the family, yes, we will look at the madin in huwa form. Fa'ala is your madin in huwa form. The doer is huwa, yes. And taf'il, either that or you can call the family by its masdar. Yeah, because for mazid fi, there's a fixed pattern. It's only for mujarrad that we don't have a fixed pattern for the masdar. We have to look into the dictionary, yes. Yeah. So fa'ala is your madin huwa for family 3. And these are your masdars. Fi'alun, mufa'alatun. Yeah. So af'ala, if'alun is your masdar. Tafa'ala and tafa'ala. Yes, tafa'ala. This is actually a reflection of each other. You see that, right? So this is extra alif. This is also extra alif, but with ta. Yeah, this is extra shadda. This is also extra shadda, but with ta. Yeah, so in a way, 2 and 5 and 3 and 6, you should be able to remember. In fa'ala is special because there's no passive. The word itself is already in passive form. And then if ta'ala, if ti'alun, yeah, the master, this is family 8. Family 8 you will find in the Quran. Plenty of it. Yeah. If ala, this is for colors, usually for colors and body defects. Yeah, when someone is mujadalah, surah mujadalah, you will find a form of this. Istaf'ala, istif'alun. Yeah, the family 10 that we know as family 10. Okay. With mujarrad, we'll do this later. We only will concentrate on mazid fi today, and we only concentrate mazid fi which is not irregular. We look at regular saf only. Yeah, only one, I think, one family that we will look at in irregular, because irregular takes some time, and we'll do that as we go along with our Surah Yasin. So as you can see, yeah, with the madin, yes, it always ends with a fatha. It always ends with a harf, always ends with a fatha, and your mudari always ends with a dhamma. Yes, always ends with a dhamma. And this dhamma is the one that changes when it becomes mansub and majzub. Yeah. But with the madin, it's mabni. It doesn't change. It's always fatha. The front bit is the one that changes depending on whether it is majhul or ma'lum. What is ma'lum? Ma'lum is active. Majhul is passive. Okay. So that's why with the mujarrad, the change is only here in the middle. It's either fatha, kasra, or dhamma. Front and back, always fatha with mujarrad. Yeah? And always with fatha in front. Yes, with your mudara'ah letters. It's always here. It's only in this case, you see family 2, 3, and 4 will start with you. And then the rest will start with yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I've tableized this for you because honestly, yes, I think someone asked me before, how do I remember the irregular saf? Because there's so many rules to irregular saf, sometimes you can't possibly remember the rules, right? You just look at the word and you freeze. Which rule am I going to look at? Yeah. The best way is still memorization. Pick a word that you are used to. Yeah, this is for regular saf. So this one is something that we have memorized. I think all of us have memorized. Now, allama, yu'allimu, ta'liman, mu'allamun. Yeah, so mu'allimun. Because from this line, you can get everything else. From allama, yu'allimu, you can get the majhuls. Yeah, you can get, you say maf'ul from mu'allimun. Yeah, because the changes is just here, kasrah and fathah. Yeah, but so that's why pick a word that you're familiar with and then remember it. Then for that same situation, if let's say it is, for example, irregular saf with ajwa, it's the vowel in the middle, right? Pick a word like qala, yakulu, and then memorize for everything else. Then whatever else is ajwaf, you just change the fa, ain, and lam. Or usually with ajwaf, then the fa and lam that you change to suit that particular table that you have done. Yeah. So the easiest way is still to memorize. If you try to remember the rules, you're going to be overwhelmed. Yeah, you're going to be overwhelmed. So I put here in this column here for each family, what are the extra bits? Yeah, so we know this is shadda, this is alif, this is hamza. Alif, hamza. Very important difference. One, not a root letter. Second, is a root letter. Okay, so this is something that you need to remember. Yeah. So they actually call both hamza. They call actually both hamza, but this is what we call hamzatul wasl, and this is hamzatul qata. Yeah, which is it has that sound, okay? Hamza when you stop It cuts off. So Hamzatul Wasl, why they call it that? When you join two words with alif here, that alif is not pronounced. Yeah, so that's why it's called Hamzatul Wasl. We will see this as when we read a Quranic verse. Remind me to point out to you what Hamzatul Wasl is and what Hamza is. Yeah, so one is not a root letter, the other one is. So these are all the Hamzatul Wasl family. You see this? Yeah. You have inqalaba, yanqalibu, iqtaraba, yaqtaribu, ihmara, yahmaru, yeah. Then istaghfara, yastaghfiru, yeah. So these are things that I think all of us have memorized, alhamdulillah. Okay, I'm going through the sarf process, but there are other slides towards the end of this, yeah, which I'm giving you so that you just keep it as notes. I'm not going to go through them, but you can refer to them. Yeah, we can refer to them, alhamdulillah, because we only have another 5 minutes or so. So here, basically what we did, yeah, how do we do the sarf of a word? We have to strip it down. We strip it down to the singular form, yeah. So how do we tell whether it's an isim or a fi'il? So these are some of the signs, yeah. We said we learned this before. We've done this before. Isim does not end with a sukun unless, of course, it's a damir. Yes. It usually has a tanwin at the end, yeah, except for special cases or mudari where you have nun tawkid at the end. But we'll not go into that as of now. Anything with tanwin is an isim. Okay. Al in front is an isim. Half of jar in front is an isim because half of jar only acts upon an isim, nothing else. Yeah, then we look for the jar status, ending combination, ending sound. This one we know, right? Aini, this is dual. Yeah, this one is plural and this one is feminine plural. Yeah, the in, e is your singular. Then how do we recognize the fi'il? We have past tense, present tense. Past tense, only the ending change, preceded by qad. Both fi'ils, past and present, normally comes with qad. Yeah. Then you have to identify your doers. Now, this is your classical way of identifying doers. We look at alif for dual. We look at waw for plural. We look at nun niswah, yeah, for the ones that are the ladies that do not change. Yeah. Ta fa'il, yeah, these are the ones that we have for past tense. Darabtu, darabta, darabti, yeah, those are your ta fa'il. Na fa'ilin is of course the one. Why we call it fa'ilin? Because this na represents a lot of people. Not one fa'il, but a group of fa'ils. Yeah, so na fa'ilin. And then we have ta ta'nis sakinah. This one actually is not a fa'il. It's just ta ta'nis. Yes. Then we have for present tense. Present tense we have qad, but also sin and sawfa, which of course past tense doesn't have. Because sin sawfa shows something that hasn't happened. So past tense will definitely not have sin and sawfa in front of it. Yeah. Then we have other things we call half that make them nasab, mudari, that make them jazm. There are two types of halves that makes one fi'il jazm and another set of halves that make two fi'il jazm. This is normally in the case of shartiyah. In shartiyahs, you have two jazm, one in the shart and the jawabu shart. Yeah, so that's why we have halves that make fi'il mudari majzum in two places in the sentence. These are all the same thing. Yeah, all the same thing. So for mudari, I mentioned mudara'ah letters. Yes, nun, hamza, ya, and ta. One way of remembering this is an aitu or anita. You can choose whichever is easy for you. And more or less the same. Yeah, more or less the same, the doers. Yeah, you can look back at the slides under the prelim notes. And then, of course, we I'm just repeating again, make it singular, masculine, and rafa, right? That's what we did with our word just now. And there are only 4 isms. The template is either master, isim fa'il, isim maf'ul, or zarf. Then we saw that it all starts with a mu. Yes, our isim fa'il, isim maf'ul, and zarf all start with a mu. The fa'il has an E sound. Yes, muslimatun. Isim maf'ul has the sound, sound. Then the masdar has a known pattern. Yeah, that's why we can call the families according to the masdar or the how do you call it? The madi huwa. Okay. Then here, if it is a fi'il, then we have to look at the ending. If it is light or lightest, we make it normal. That means we have to know what makes the present tense light or lightest first. So then we can recognize whether it's light or lightest. Yeah, but normally we see the sign as fathah or a sukun. Then we know that something has happened to the present tense. And when it's passive, u'a for mudari is passive. U'i for madi. Yeah, I think you know what I mean by this, right? We will go through this again the next class so that you're more confident about that. So we have to determine the inside pronoun. If it is not huwa, then we change it to ha. So meaning you have to make it huwa. Then you match with the Saf template. Yeah, because on our Saf template, we are looking only at the madi and mudari of huwa. If the word is a fi'il, then it could also be command or forbidding. Forbidding will have la followed by lightest. Yes. Then you know that this is lam nahiyah, not nafiyah. Commanding will be second person lightest with first star dropped, and if needed, a helper alif. You know this rule. And sometimes it looks like a past tense. So then you have to check your dictionary. Yeah, basically. Alhamdulillah. So that's my last slide on this. And then I just, these are just something I took from the dream textbook, but it's here. Just a word of warning, not necessarily the meaning is as per this. It depends on the context. It always depends on the context. Yes. And sometimes something that is, even in family 10, sometimes the meaning can be the same as your mujarrad. Yeah. So don't think that all fi'ils that start with ist means to seek. Sometimes it doesn't mean to seek. Yeah, there are examples in the Quran that will show that. So these are things that I put there, and when you have the time, you go through it. Yeah, it's quite good actually to go through this one by one. Maybe one day we set aside a day just to do the meanings of the different families. Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's practice, and practice makes perfect. Yeah. Okay. All right. So any questions here, dear, from anyone? Sorry. Do you want to see any other slide before we go off for tonight? No? Okay. So for next week, we will do, like I said, a bit more on the Saf, and then we will begin with Maf'ul Mutlaq. Before we attempt our Surah Yasin, here. Tanzil al-Aziz al-Rahim. So is this an isim or a fi'il? Tanzila. Volunteers, Sister Radin?
This
is PN
Why do you say it's a fi'il?
because of the beginning. Wait. Yes, I think it is PN because of the beginning.
Okay.
About the law at the end.
Yeah, the fatha, right? We're wondering why is there a fatha on this? Yeah. So there's nothing in here. So this is an interesting case, and that's why I didn't want to start this yet, because we need to do something else before you can figure out what this means. Yeah?
Okay.
All right, inshallah. Okay. Subhanallah wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. So thank you for joining me tonight. Yes. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Barakallahu fikum, everyone. Okay.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله يجعل هذا العمل في ميزان حسناتكم.
آمين. سلام. إن شاء الله see you next week.
إن شاء الله.